And we are live. Francesca, Adam, it's so good to see you. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Good morning, Mitch.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy Monday. This is
Got
going
your
to be fun.
coffee?
So, you know what? Let's do a morning toast. Good morning.
Cheers.
Here's to everyone joining us both live and recorded. And I think I have to take a obligatory sip.
Yep.
I'll tell you, if there's one product on this planet that I could not live without, it would be coffee. But that's just me, you know. And listen, everybody. I am so excited to have Francesca and Adam Witzberg on today. They're the co-founders of Esca Law, and we're going to be talking about some really important IP, intellectual property related issues with the new business models, with the new issues that are rolling out. And Francesca and Adam, I just love the content you guys are creating. It's quick, it's snappy, it's to the point, and it's adding immense value to the community. And that's why I wanted to have you on this morning's morning coffee. So as promised, let's just dive straight in with our first question. And for those of you listening and not watching, I just pulled the question up on the screen. How should brands launching new products think about IP from the start? What steps protect innovations, and what common mistakes should they avoid?
Yeah, I'm glad you're leading with this because, especially in today's digital world right now, it feels like everything has just the speed at which problems are rising. It hasn't been quicker ever. So with social media, TikTok shops was a game changer in the world. So it's great because businesses can sell very quickly online, but it's also a huge problem from counterfeiting and knockoff problems. So businesses could have probably gotten away with it a little bit more if you're a startup and you're a little bit late to the IP game. Maybe someone told you, you don't need to file a trademark, or you could just copy someone's contract. Like, those days are over. Businesses are going from being small companies to mid-size or bigger companies almost overnight because of the virality of these platforms. So if you're caught without having that intellectual property protection in place early, we're seeing it. It's really it's devastating to owners who've created something that's popular. They put their blood, sweat, and tears into it. Now they come to us and we're building out the IP alongside of building out the enforcement program. So earlier you work with a good IP lawyer, the better.
It seems like knockoffs are getting easier and easier for companies and people from around the world to do with modern technology. Are you seeing more knockoffs? I have a question. What is a knockoff? Maybe you can explain that. But it's probably a problem that's just getting worse. It's not getting better.
Correct. Yeah. So a knockoff is a product that may not be identical. It may not be a counterfeit. So a counterfeit is where, you see on Canal Street, it's an exact Louis Vuitton bag that says Louis Vuitton. The purpose is for to sell completely fake products. Sometimes people buy them intentionally. If you buy a Louis Vuitton bag on Canal Street, you shouldn't be shocked to think to figure out that it's not real. But sometimes consumers actually think they're going to a website and buying a real product and they get a fake, and it's a major problem. Think about cosmetics. If you have fake chemicals on your face, what that could do, or things that are ingestible. There's fake cannabis. There's all sorts of fake counterfeiting products. But then there's this other category, which we're starting to see more companies have issues with, which is this knockoff category. And in the knockoff category, these are sophisticated business people. It doesn't matter that they're illegal, right? Like the counterfeiters and the squatters, they know the game. So they make money. They hire lawyers. They've been hiring actual lawyers who will look at a product and say, okay, you can get this close, but don't use the trademark and don't use certain things, but you can get as close as possible. And so it's this big gray area where it may be an absolute knockoff in the sense where maybe they don't use the trademark word, but it really looks exactly like the product. And if you work with good lawyers, there's definitely things you can do. There's something called trade dress, which could protect the actual product design, or you could have a design patent. So it's not just the name, but they've gotten really, really good, and I would say bold in filing for their own patents, even though someone else already created the patent. So we're seeing this world of getting as
That's
close to
crazy.
the line, and almost like Mitch, it's like it's a sophistication. It's like the sophistication of counterfeiters and knockoffs have gotten to the next level.
That's crazy when you think about it, and that's why I wanted to have both you and Adam on. And this is a live show, and so I know you're both good on your feet. We're gonna pivot just a little bit to the last question, and then come back to talk about this more. Why am I saying that? Because I have people asking, tell us more about the firm. Well, I'll let you see the comments, but they want to get to know the two of you. So what I want to do, everyone, is this is Morning Coffee. It's a live show every morning of the week, except Wednesdays when I'm in the metaverse. I'm up early, so I thought, why not just go live and have some fun and talk about biz, law, and the Web3 AI metaverse spaces, and bring on friends and experts and share new products and services that I'm excited about. But part of the live experience is responding to our audience, right? And so everyone actually wants to know more about the two of you.
Right.
So I actually asked for those listening just to the audio, we were going to get to this, but I was going to ask them, Francesca and Adam, what inspired you to create Esca Legal, and how is Esca Legal helping people, helping business owners, helping entrepreneurs and influencers tackle the modern IP and brand protection challenges? Adam, how did you guys, decide to kind of roll over into co-starting this new company, this new firm?
My background, I actually was in sales. I was in the mortgage industry for like 12 years. And I was watching Francesca grow her legal practice and make the jump from associate to partner, and just kind of seeing the different things that she recognized as areas that we could definitely improve upon for lawyers was a huge reason that we kind of started, the initial conversations about starting Esca. She's got the bigger picture in mind always. So we were talking about how we could create a firm where people would really want to work, where we wouldn't overwhelm the people who were here, and just kind of create that more family culture. Because I think that there's, a big stigma about, from what I've learned about big law and the lifestyle of lawyers, that it's not always as enjoyable as they were thinking that it might be. And there's a lot of overwhelm, overworking, and burnout and stuff like that. So we kind of got together and we were like, how can we create something that's just, a better environment for the people who work there? And that's how we got the gears turning on creating Esca.
I love it. I love it. And you, though, are not a general practice firm. You're definitely focusing and specializing in, I think, kind of traditional IP, but new trending IP issues. Isn't that right, Francesca?
Yeah, we are actually, it's kind of like big news we posted the other day. We're officially a full service intellectual property law firm.
Tell everybody what that means.
So that means we're your go-to one-stop shop for anything intellectual property. We do your trademarks, copyrights, patents, trade secrets, litigation, and enforcement. So if you have any sort of IP problem, and also commercial contracts, because we like to look at clients holistically. It's like going to a doctor. You want, someone who's looking at you holistically, not just, a narrow lens. So we built a practice where we can have all of these things and have a team look at the business from a holistic level. And Nicole is our contracts partner. She does any sort of contract, but what we're seeing with clients is most of them in today's world, they may not even traditionally be an IP company, but now they've become an IP focused company because everything is online. So that's our positioning in the marketplace, is to work with IP focused brands.
Absolutely love that. I've got our mutual friend, Robert Hanna's hat on Legally Speaking podcast, everyone. And when I walked into the USC tailgate Saturday morning, we introduced Wisconsin to USC football on Saturday. And it wasn't a fun experience for Wisconsin. But when I walked into our tailgate, everyone was like, "Oh, Mitch, is that your podcast? Is that something you're doing?" And I had to stop and explain, like, this doesn't belong to me. This is a friend's, and I just like I like the hat, but I like sharing what he's doing and how he's associated with Clio to really help lawyers be better and faster, right? You have to be specific when you're wearing other people's brands, when you're using other people's products and services, right? To avoid any misunderstandings about who owns what and what you can do with that. And I think along with that issue comes the second question I wanted to ask both you and Adam today that I think is very, very important. And that is for influencers and social media brands, what key IP issues do they face and how can they protect their content and identity in today's fast changing space? And before you answer that, Francesca or Adam, I want to invite everyone, keep those comments going. If you ask a question in the comments, it'll get pulled into me. If you like the show, share it out live, or for those of you watching the recorded version, reach out to Francesca and Adam with any follow-up questions. But Francesca, with respect to influence, what do they need to be paying attention to right now?
Yeah, and then I'll talk for like a little bit, and then I can ask Adam because Adam's position is very unique. He is not an attorney, but he is our right-hand person. We run parallel, so he is seeing the business practicalities on how our clients are operating in the real world, and we're issue spotting some of these major issues. So we'll come over to him, but generally speaking, I think with IP and social media, it still is the traditional issues. Is your trademark protected? Are your designs and your products protected? And do you have a program set up? Because without those things, businesses could go under overnight. That's how quickly and almost like a cancer these counterfeiters and knockoffs have become. They find one popular product, they have a factory set up in abroad, and will mass pump out counterfeits and fakes to be ready to sell within, I don't know the exact, but it's not months anymore. It's really very, very quick. It's either days or it's weeks. They set up accounts and boom, you have hundreds, if not thousands of fake accounts that are beating you to the market and confusing your consumers. So
I think to kind of play off what Francesca just said, the speed at which they're now creating counterfeits and knockoffs it's out of control. And the biggest issues that business are facing is like, when you get to those online marketplaces, all of a sudden, one of your main channels for distribution of your products could be Amazon, and maybe you're the 10th listing on Amazon, and there's 9 other people in front of you who are infringing on your product. So the speed at which they're able to create the knockoffs and counterfeits is really it's taken it to the next level. And I think one of the things businesses don't really consider is everyone's just trying to get successful, right? As a brand or as an influencer, you want to go viral, you want to get successful. And honestly, that's when all of the problems start, because the minute you go viral and the minute your name or your product takes off across the internet, which is what you've been striving to achieve, before you know it, you're being, your brand is being, kind of taken out or copied all over the internet. And it's just something that, you think about protecting it afterwards. And really, it's kind of backwards. If you're planning on getting big, if you're planning on blowing up, you want to have the IP protections in place first so that you have a leg to stand on when you want to defend yourself against the bad actors.
So let's talk about that. The next question I've got up on the screen for those of you listening just via audio is, how can businesses and influencers protect themselves? But not only protect themselves, and Francesca, this is something that really caught my attention when I saw you walking, was it through downtown Manhattan with your phone on the side? Like, she just goes live, you guys. It's really awesome. So definitely follow both Adam and Francesca across social. But you talked about not only the liability and how influencers, business owners can protect themselves. And let's talk about that. What do they need to file? What are the items called? What are the tools and approaches called? But how can they then also maximize IP to create new revenue streams? You mentioned a few influencers, specifically how they're doing this. Talk to us a little bit about protecting and then maximizing our IP rights in this new and fast changing world.
I love that, Mitch, and thank you. Yes. I integrate content creation in my lifestyle. So you messaged me and said, "Oh, I love what you're doing," and it's like great because it's just a part. I have to walk from Midtown to downtown. I'm gonna just crank out a bunch of videos
Okay.
while I'm doing it. So for anyone watching, like,
Awesome.
don't overthink things, just record.
It's good. It's really good.
Yeah. So I like to say that everyone has their IP toolbox. And in your IP toolbox, which IP is short for intellectual property, you have different IP tools. You have trademarks, which traditionally protect the name, the brand. You know, you think Louis Vuitton or Yeti. I'm looking at my Yeti right now. That's the brand that you know and you recognize. That's the trademark. But trademarks can also actually be the shape of products. So we help clients look, especially in the knockoff category. You don't want to just think of the word mark. That's like you check a box, foundational stuff. The next level is, what else can I do? What other brands, my designs, my slogans, my logos can be protected with trademark. Actually, storefronts, inside stores, if you look at a really unique store, that could also be a trademark. It could be their trade dress. So all sorts of great things with trademarks. Copyrights protect creative works like music and books and text. Then patents protect inventions, formulas, and also we have design patents in the US, so some designs. And trade secrets is like a sister to patents. If you don't file for the patent and you keep it proprietary and confidential, then you may be able to protect your proprietary asset with a trade secret. These are your customer lists, your database of proprietary information. The Coca-Cola formula is actually protected with a trade secret. They've been able to keep it secret for all these years. So those are
That's
cool.
good. So Francesca, so when someone wants to protect one of these items, what happens is, for example, I guess they could try to do it on their own, but they would come to your firm and there's specific paperwork that needs to be, or electronic forms that need to be completed a certain way in a timely fashion to make all of this happen, right? It's something that you need to cross your T's and dot your I's.
Yes, you could definitely file your own trademarks, your own copyrights, your own patents, trade secrets. There's nothing filed. But the problem that we see clients get into is they don't get good counsel at the beginning, number one. So they work with either a small lawyer or they take their neighbor's advice and will either not file or they file on their own. And let's say they have this amazing product and they only file for the brand name, but they've missed the fact that, oh, wow, we have all of this proprietary designs or utility. You now have missed the boat if you've launched and you didn't do your design patents or your utility patents. Also, we see when clients try to file themselves, sometimes, unfortunately, like it's not done right. You know, it's like doing anything. You do your plumbing yourself or versus hiring an expert. But it's not the end of the world. I think the biggest place where people get tripped up is when they fail to work with good lawyers. That's the biggest mistake that I see, because we do a lot of cleanup work, whether they worked with a very small attorney, like a patent attorney that said, oh yeah, I'll do your trademarks. These are easy. And they miss issues, or they try to do them themselves. And now they have a global problem and they
You froze up at my end. Hopefully it is just me and not the audience. So Francesca and Adam, you did freeze up. Maybe if you could refresh or come back in, that may work. And while they're doing that, and if it is just at my end, I apologize, everybody, but I'm speaking with Francesca and Adam Witzberg. They are the co-founders of Esca Law. And let me go ahead and bring them down, remove them, bring them back up, see if this makes a difference. And we're talking about the different intellectual property issues and items and things that we need to pay attention to in today's world. And what Francesca is going to be transitioning over to, assuming she can get back into the live video feed, is we've talked about the issues and why you need to protect yourself. But what we're going to roll over to, and this is my favorite part, so if we can't get her back, I'll go ahead and share her thoughts in the comments to this recorded video, is how to protect and how to leverage and how to take advantage of these IP rights. How can you monetize them? How can you license them out? This is where she and I and Adam are seeing a lot of smart brand ambassadors and influencers and business owners do some pretty amazing things. Let's see, it looks like they're coming back in. And we'll keep our fingers crossed. And
Our power went
so the
out.
preamble, you know me, it took the power went out. So here's the thing. While you were gone, I was perfect timing, by the way, you two. We talked about IP and protecting our IP, but one of the most exciting things for me is then leveraging those IP rights to create new revenue sources, to create money, new licensing agreements. And so what about that side of the story? What can owners and entrepreneurs and brand ambassadors and influencers do to create new revenue streams using their IP rights that they've properly created and secured?
I love that you're mentioning this, because it's the most important part, right? Like, people want to know, why am I investing in my IP? Why am I spending that, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in my intellectual property? What's the point of it? The point is to monetize it, right? If you're a commercial business, the point is to monetize it. So there's three things. Number one, you protect your intellectual property. We just talked about that. You can go back and watch the recording for an overview on how to protect your IP and which tools. Number two is to enforce. So you may see that other people are knocking you off or using your IP. If you don't enforce your rights, you lose them. So you have to send cease and desist letters. You have to do takedowns. You may have to sue people. You need to show an effort that you're enforcing to get other people to stop, because think of the Xerox machine or the escalator. Those were trademarks at one point. But if consumers or anyone uses your trademark, then you could lose your rights. And the last piece is monetizing it. So you can't monetize it, though, unless you own it, which is why we're saying these as 1, 2, 3. So once you do 1 and 2, the third piece is having a really rock solid licensing agreement, because a lot of deals today, and it's how celebrities and influencers and sports athletes make money. It's not just, they don't just make money from their paychecks, or the actresses don't make money just from their salaries. It's really these licensing deals. So the ability to give, and when we say licensing, it really is, you're just giving someone else permission to use your name, your likeness, or image to either promote someone else's goods or services, or maybe to sell goods and services. A lot of celebrities will have, a licensing arrangement with a company that sells bath towels or home products or candles. So they don't actually create the facilities to make these products, but they partner with companies that sell it, and then they put their trademarks on the brand, and they get a percentage of the sales because they use their name.
Which is huge. And I think right now, maybe wrapping things up over the last couple of minutes, the licensing agreements, let's focus on that for a second. We're not talking about traditional, internet ads or television commercials or something put up in a store. We have a whole new opportunity with Web3, with the metaverse, with digital and virtual concerts and attire and wardrobe. There's just so many new opportunities out there that I think most influencers are not aware of. But if they partner with the right firm, with the right agency, they can bring these new opportunities to the influencer, to the entrepreneur, to the brand owner, to even increase and improve their licensing opportunities. Am I wrong about that? Or
no, you're right.
Agree?
I read some statistic that like majority of the influencers you see actually don't make a lot of money. So it's really important to work with a good lawyer. Taylor Swift is all about this. There's a video of her saying, what's your advice? Get a good lawyer. So working with a good lawyer who can help you not only protect, but come up with some creative strategies on how to monetize through licensing or some other, deal negotiation. And yes, you need a good team. This isn't legal advice, but having good people around you who have relationships, or they can set you up for success is really key. You don't want to get locked into a 5-year agreement with someone you just met online and you're signing your life away, which happens.
Right. If you meet someone online, do your due diligence, find out who you're dealing with. But look, everybody, I recommend you reach out to Francesca and Adam. Avoid that unnecessary headache. I just remembered that Garrett and I, and the forward was written by Mike Alton of Agora Pulse. Look what we put together. I forgot all about this.
Oh yeah. Oh, I
How
have
to
your
create-
first book.
So this is how to create AI, Web3, and metaverse branding and licensing opportunities. And all Garrett and I did is we used AI to help us leverage putting this book together. But I think it's really good. And I think if there are any influencers or brand ambassadors out there that want to learn how to do what Francesca and Adam are suggesting and leverage these new licensing opportunities, this book will plant the seed. And then once that seed's planted, I want everyone to reach out directly to Francesca and to Adam to get it done, to make it, to make this happen, right? It's not what I do. It's just something that Garrett and I were interested in kind of learning more about. And then we put it together. So I think this is kind of what you're talking about.
Mitch. So when we advise clients, I always say, like, we do something called an IP audit, where we actually empower the business owner and teach them what these things are and how to look for them, because I'm only their lawyer. I'm not in their business day to day. So it's really, I know that's why you've made that book. I know that's why we're making this content. It's to educate and empower business owners, because you can't just rely on other people to run the business for you and catch all these things, unfortunately. So I really appreciate you making that book.
It's complicated. And we have a lot of mutual friends in the space. Back in the day when Web 2.0, I was representing a lot of global brand ambassadors, when that's what I was kind of focusing on. And what I noticed were a lot of really good, talented people making really bad business decisions and leaving a lot of money on the table, right? So for me, that was my motivation behind this, is just to try to help some friends move forward. But as primarily a full-time private mediator now, it's not something I'm doing. I'm going to refer these over to you and Adam, let you guys take good care of my referrals and frankly, good care of the community, and help us keep our eyes open moving forward to all the new opportunities that are rolling out each and every day as this space evolves. So listen, I want to be true to my word and keep this, well, now it's about 32 minutes, but I'm going to take those 2 minutes that we lost you and add them on. So I'm still within my 30-minute time range. Right. Okay. And so if anybody would like to reach out to the two of you to continue this conversation, what's the best way for them to contact you?
LinkedIn is great. Either my account or the Esca Legal account. I'm at the Trademark Attorney on Instagram. And Adam, what's the best way to reach you?
I'm on LinkedIn as well. And we also have the Esca Legal Instagram account where anyone can reach out to us. So
fantastic. Yeah. You two are a special couple. Lisa and I practiced together, and her mom and dad worked together for 30, 40, 50 years. My mom and dad worked together for 40, 50 years at the Guest Ranch in Tucson. So I get it. I tip my hat to the two of you. I'm always here for you. And I know the two of you are always here for the community. If everyone here watching the live show enjoyed morning coffee, there's more coming. I'm just going to go live at 7 in the morning, most mornings, not every morning, with a guest on my own and talk Web3, AI, and the metaverse in both the business and legal spaces. So please join me, share the show out, but most importantly, connect and stay connected with Francesca and Adam. And between now and the next time, enjoy this crazy journey that we're on. It sure is exciting, and never stop making each day your masterpiece. All right, everyone, take care. Francesca,
thanks for having us.
Stick tight for a second.
Okay.
Bye.